This is a basic program that is often used as the first step in learning any programming language. The print function is used to output the message, "Hello world," to the console or command prompt. You can run this code by saving it as a PyPy file and running it through a Python interpreter or IDE. In this program, we have assigned the values 5 and 7 to two variables, num1 and num2, respectively. We then use the plus operator to add these two numbers and store the result in a variable called sum. Finally, we use the print function to display the message, "The sum of 5 and 7 is 12 inches" on the console or command prompt. This code is another simple example of how Python can be used to perform basic mathematical calculations and display the results. In this program, we use the input function to prompt the user to enter their name and age, and we store these values in variables name and age, respectively. Since the input function always returns a string, we use the int function to convert the age input to an integer. We then use the print function to display a personalized message that includes the user's name and age. In this program, we first use the input function to prompt the user to enter a number, which we store in a variable called num. We then use a for loop to iterate from 1 to 10 and print the multiplication table of the entered number. Inside the loop, we use the print function to display the multiplication table for each number from 1 to 10. We use the range function to generate a sequence of numbers from 1 to 10 and the asterisk operator to perform the multiplication. In this program, we first import the CSV module, which provides functionality for working with CSV files. We then use the with statement to open a CSV file called data, CSV in read-only mode. We use the CSV reader function to create a reader object that can be used to read the data from the file. We then use a for loop to iterate over each row in the file and print it to the console or command prompt using the print function. Each row is represented as a list of strings, with each string representing a value from the corresponding columns in the CSV file. The CSV reader function automatically splits the rows into these values based on the comma delimiter. In this program, we first use the input function to prompt the user to enter a number, which we store in a variable called num. We then use a for loop to iterate from 1 to num and calculate its factorial. Inside the loop, we use the asterisk operator to multiply each number from 1 to num together and store the result in a variable called factorial. We also use conditional statements to handle cases where num is negative or equal to 0. Finally, we use the print function to display the result of the calculation. If num is negative, we display an error message. If num is 0, we display the factorial as 1. Otherwise, we display the calculated factorial for num. This program, we define a car class that has 3 attributes: make, model, and year. We also define 3 methods to get the make, model, and year of a car object. We create 2 car objects, car1 and car2, using the car class and initialize their attributes with specific values. We then use the print function to display the make, model, and year of each car object by calling the corresponding getter methods. In this program, we first import the random and string modules, which provide functions for generating random numbers and working with strings, respectively. We then define a function called generate_password that takes a single argument length, representing the desired length of the password. The function generates a set of characters to use in the password, which includes uppercase and lowercase letters, digits, and punctuation marks. The function then generates a random password by choosing length number of characters at random from the set using the random.choice function, and concatenates them into a string using the join function. Finally, we use the print function to display the generated password.